Welcome back to class, boys and girls. We are going to be learning a little bit about decimals and reviewing some things that we've learned in the past. I'm glad to have you here. Just remember that we have been doing a lot of things over the past couple of weeks as far as approximation, estimation, factors, multiples, working with whole numbers. All the next couple of slides are review. The reason why we estimate is so we can make numbers easier to understand inside of our brain. Okay, you need to know these place values. It helps with the rest of the content that we're going to be learning this year. The ones, tens, hundreds, thousands place for now. Later on, we'll be doing numbers that are to the right of the decimal point. Okay, we learned how to round up. We learned how to round down. We also played a couple of games to understand rounding, even up to the millions place. On the 14th of April, we continued learning how to round to the thousands place, the millions place. We played quite a few games with Zoom to try to figure that out. We did much bigger numbers. Now in 5th grade, you will be learning much bigger numbers than you were in 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, okay? So you really need to know these. If you didn't do this little quick checkup, here is the tiny URL that you need to go to. It is tinyurl.com/yck7row3. So we did that on the 23rd, I believe, of April. Okay, we played this game. On the 24th of April, we continued to multiply using what we knew from estimation. Okay, and that was pretty simple for most kids. If you don't understand that, you can go to these links, which I have on Google Classroom, and you can watch those quick videos. They're only about 2 or 3 minutes each, understanding estimation with subtraction, addition, multiplication, and division. Last time we learned a little bit about factors and multiples, and we need to understand that multiples go up to the mountains. They're continuous, okay? But factors go down to the floor. The factors are just numbers that multiply together to get that final answer. And the multiples are on your multiplication table, which you should have to work out those problems, okay? We skipped page 19 in prime and we did page 20. We looked at common multiples and least common multiples, okay? And on Tuesday, we began multiplication and division of whole numbers, which is what we're going to be doing today, okay? If you don't remember how to multiply, I do recommend you take a look at this resource to try to understand what multiplication is, just the basics, okay? Step by step, all right? So we, for in this case, we would do 7 times 5, we would get 35, we carry that 3, we would add that number into our problem, into our answer, and then continue on to the next step. Okay, this is all review. And then, finally just getting our answer, okay? So adding that 5, 5 times 1 is 5, plus that 1 on the top gives us 685. So all of that is review. You need to know how to multiply in order to do these couple of problems, okay? What we're going to be doing today is multiplying by powers of 10. You can see on the screen that 10 to the power of 1 is just 10, okay? I'm going to actually write on the screen so I can show you. 10 to the power of 1 is just 10. But if we look at 10 to the power of 2, that's going to be 10 times 10, okay? 10 times 10. That's 10 to the power of 2. So 10 to the power of 2 is actually 100, okay? Here's another example. 10 to the power of 3. 10 to the power of 3 would be 10 times 10 times 10. Okay, we have 3 zeros in our place value. So 3 different zeros right there. 1, 2, 3 would mean that we have 3 zeros in our answer. So we have our 1 with 3 zeros. Okay, so 10 to the power of 3 would actually equal 1,000. Okay, so we need to understand powers to get to know those problems. Okay, let's go to those problems on page 22. We're going to be looking at page 22 in prime. Before we go to page 22, I want to do just a problem to give you more context of why we do these problems, okay? If you don't understand those powers, you can click on this resource, which is in Google Classroom. But let's look at a problem just to get you to understand why we do this, why we do what we're doing, okay? So here's a problem. Let's see. Let's say, for example, you have some chocolates. You have 100 chocolates, okay? And there are 23 kids in the classroom. How would we figure out how many chocolates there are in total? Well, we'd have to multiply, right? 100 chocolates times 23 students. So let's do that problem together, okay? We have 100 chocolates. Each student has 100 chocolates, all right? 100 times 23 students, all right? So we would just take 23 times 100. Well, all I need to do with that problem is take my base number, which is 23, and multiply it by 1. 23 times 1 is 23. And then I need to see how many zeros I have left in my problem. I have 2 zeros left in my problem from 100. That's a power of 2. So I'm just going to add 2 zeros. So if we had 100 chocolates per student times 23 students, the total number of chocolates would be 2,300 chocolates, okay? We're going to be doing some of those problems on page 22. So let's actually go to page 22 right now, and let's look at some of those problems, okay? We turn to page 22, and we're going to look at some of those problems, okay? We have 93 times 10, okay? I actually need to make this a little bit smaller so I can write on the screen, so I'm going to end this slideshow. 1 second. Let me end that. Let's make this a little bit bigger so we can see that. All right, let's do the first problem. The first problem on page 22 says 93 times 100. Okay, so we have 93 as our base number. We're going to put that right inside of our blank. That's going to be part of our answer. And then we're going to count the number of zeros that we have. The number of zeros is 1, 2. We have 2 zeros, so we're just going to add 2 zeros in our answer. 93 times 100 equals 9,300. Let's do the next problem. The next problem says 93 times 1,000. Well, I know that 93, again, is my base number. Let me write that a little bit better. 93 is going to be in our answer. And we're going to multiply it by a power of 3. 1,000 is just 10 to the power of 3. So I have 3 zeros. I'm going to add those 3 zeros into my problem. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, I didn't leave a space to show you 93,000, so I'm going to write that over again. Sorry about that. 93,000. Sometimes you actually see a comma. The comma is optional. Okay, in Costa Rica, we don't really use the comma, so it is optional. If you want to use it, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine. Let's look at the next problem. On page 22, we have 10 times 67. 67 is my base number, so I'm going to put that in my answer. 67. And then we're going to multiply it by a power of 10. So I'm just going to add that 1 zero that's left over. Just 1 zero in my answer. 670. Okay? The book tried to kind of trick you up by switching the two numbers. Okay? 10 times 67 is the same as 67 times 10. 67 times 10 is the same thing as 10 times 67. So my answer is 670 no matter what I do. Okay, let's do another problem. Letter B, the next problem on there. Let me move this over. Let's bring this up. All right, we have 100 times 67. 100 times 67 has 67 as our base number. So 67 is in our answer. 67, just like this one, 67 was in our base answer. And we're going to multiply by a power of 10, 10 to the power of 2. So we have 2 zeros, 1, 2. We're going to put 2 zeros in our answer. Just like we had 1 0 here, we put 1 0 in our answer. Okay? See the difference between those two problems? This next one should be pretty simple then. It's the same concept. Okay? Change the color to red. 67 is in our answer. 67. Let me write that over again. 67. And we have, again, by a power of 10, 67 times 1 is just 67. Adding our 3 zeros into our problem gives us 67,000. Perfect. Okay, let's go to a couple more problems. Page 22, letter C. All right, let's go to letter C. Get rid of this. Okay, letter C. Let's move that down a little bit. Letter C. Okay, 602 times 10. Well, 602 is my base number, so I'm just going to leave that as my base number, 602. And 602 times 1 just equals 602. So I don't really need, I can just ignore that 1 now and figure out how many zeros I have in my base 10, which is just 1. We would just add 1 0 right there. So 602 times 10 is 6,020. 6,020 is my answer. Same thing with the next problem. 602 is going to be in my answer. 602. And I found out the same right here. 602 is just going to be in my answer, right? And I'm going to figure out how many zeros I have to add to my answer. Well, here I have 2 zeros, so I'm just going to add 2 zeros right there. My answer is 6. Let me see if I can write this as a little bit, make it a little bit bigger size. 60200. Okay, 60,200 is my answer. Okay, there we go. And for my next one, 602 is going to be in my answer again. And I'm just going to add 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. So my answer, my final answer, is, change the color, 602,000. 602,000 is equal to 602 times 1,000. Perfect. All right, let's go to the next couple of problems on the bottom. Let me move this up. 480 times 10. Okay, oops, let's get rid of this. All right, here we go. 480, oops, okay. 480 times 10. Well, 480 is my base number, okay? You could also just put 48 if you really wanted to, and then add the zeros at the end. Okay, so we have 48, and then just add those 2 zeros, or I could just keep that zero, that first zero, right there in my problem, okay? I'm just gonna add that last zero, and my answer is 4,800, okay? Let's do a couple more problems on our own. Okay, so pause the video right now and see if you can do those problems on your own. All right, so what answers did you get? Hopefully you paused the video and you can do those problems on your own. What you should have got was 480 is my base number, so 480. And then I just added 2 zeros, 1, 2. And for the next one, you should have had 480 as your base number. And you add those zeros, which are missing. 1, 2, 3. So 480,000 is your answer. Be careful you put 5 zeros or 3 zeros, okay? If you have, for example, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros in your problem, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros in your answer, okay? Let's do a couple more problems. On page 22, on the bottom, let's see, just the letter D, let's do letter E, okay? 254 times 10. You should be getting the hang of this by now. You just put your number, your base number in your problem. 254 is our base number, and we add our 0. 2,540 is our answer. Same thing with this. 254. And we add our zeros. 1, 2 zeros. 1, 2 zeros. So realistically, this would be 25,400. Let me write that correctly so you can see the placement of the numbers. I'm going to put it with text tool so you guys can see it. 2, 5. Oops, let me move that down a little bit. Ooh, what happened? Let's go back. Oops. Let's go back here. Sorry about that. We are on letter E. me try to get back to there. Oh, I think I deleted my page. Uh-oh. There we go. I deleted some pages. Okay, here we go. Let's try that again. Let me put my text tool so you can see that. Okay, we have 25,400 because we have 2 zeros. Okay, that's my actual answer. Let me do this one. 2, 5, 4, 0, 0. Oops. Try that again. Oh, I did it again. Ah, I cannot figure out why this keeps deleting my pages. I gotta figure that out a little bit better. Oops. I know. When I do an undo, it thinks it's undoing the page, not undoing the text. I gotta do undo up here. Ah, there we go. Okay. Let's delete that. I am just not understanding how to do this text. Wonder if I can delete that text. Let me try to just delete this text. Let's just delete that. Delete that text. Ay, technology. You gotta love technology. Let's do that on the bottom. I'm sorry. Let's do the text on the bottom. 2, 5. We're gonna have 3 zeros in our answer. So 2, 5, 4, 0, 0, 0. So I have 3 zeros in my answer because I have 3 zeros in my problem. 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, make sense? Let's do that last problem. You're gonna pause the video and you're gonna try to do these problems, letter F. So pause the video and try to do letter F on your own. Okay, hopefully you paused the video and you tried those on your own. I'm gonna delete all the text here and just make this a little bit smaller. All right, let's just make this a little bit easier to understand. We're on page 22, letter F. The answers you should have gotten were, answers you should have gotten were 57,000, 570, oops, 0, 0, 0, 57,000. It's the same thing because it was flipped. And 570, 0, 0, 0, 570,000. Okay. Once again, you'll notice that since I have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros in my problem, I have 4 zeros in my answer. Okay, make sure you really check that out, okay? You don't want to add extra zeros that aren't supposed to be there. Otherwise, it's a completely different number, okay? Hopefully that should be pretty simple. We're going to move to page 23 right now. So go to page 23 in Prime. Here we go, right there. We're going to do a couple of problems together. Let me just move this down a little bit. Let's do a couple of those problems together on page 23. We're going to multiply 93 times 4. You should be able to do these now on your own, okay? But just let me do the problem. Okay, there we go. 93 times 4 should equal, all right, let's do that together. 93 times 4, just like this problem up here. 4 times 3 is 12. Bring my 1 up. 9 times 4 is 36 plus 1. 36 plus 1 equals 37. So 37, you should be putting that right down here. 37. My final answer is 372, which you're going to need to know for this next problem, okay? Since 93 times 4 equals 372, now we can do 93 times 40, okay? Because we're doing it by a factor of 10, okay? Just like we talked about last time. So remember, 93 times 4 is 372. Let's do the next problem. 93 times 40. Well, I know that 93 times 4 equals 372. 372 is my base number, and I'm multiplying it by a factor of 10. 93 times 4 equals 372, so the factor of 10 just adds a 0 to the end. Okay, we're just going to add that 0. just like that's right here. 3,720 is my answer. 3,720. Okay? Good. Let's do the problem on the bottom. Similarly, 93 times 4, remember, is 372. If I don't remember, I can check it on a calculator. 93 times 4 equals 372. Good. So let's put that in our base problem. Delete that. Try that again. Delete. How do I delete that? Delete. Trying to figure out the tools here. Here we go. Okay. 372. And how many zeros do I have? I have 2 zeros in my problem. So I'm going to put, oops, what's going on with this tool right here? Let's delete that. Try that again. 3, 7, space, 2, 0, 0. Okay, 372, but then I added those 2 zeros. Again, 93 times 4 equals 372, and then I added my 2 zeros. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, 37,200. Let's do the last problem together. 93 times 4,000 has the same base number. What was our base number again? You should know that by now. We've done it 4 times. 3, 7, 2. How many zeros do we have in 4,000? Let's see. 1, 2, 3 zeros. So I'm going to add 3 zeros in my answer. 1, 2, 3. So my final answer, 93 times 4,000, gives you 372,000. Thanks for watching, boys and girls. We will see you later. Actually, no. Just want to remember, we played in class a Kahoot. The Kahoot is on the screen. It's also on Google Classroom. Okay, so let's look at that. In class, we played Kahoot. You can click on this Kahoot if you want to see the answers. In Google Classroom, all the answers are there, so you can click on that. It's going to show you some of the problems that we did. For example, what is 3 times 8? What is 40 times 7? What is 60 times 30? Okay, we did all those problems in class. And then we also did problems with exponents. So for example, 4 times 10 to the power of 3, which we just saw before, was 10 times 10 times 10. Okay, let me actually do that problem to show you this problem. Let me delete all of that. Try that again. Delete. I got to figure out which one is delete. Erase. There we go. Okay, let's do this problem together. 4 times 10 to the power of 3 is actually 4 times 10 times 10 times 10. Okay, so if we take that and we understand that 4 times 10 to the power of 3 is just 4 times 3 with 3 zeros, that is equal to 4 with 1, 2, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3. So our answer would be 4,000. Okay, it's the next problem. Let's go here. Number 6. Well, what is 1 million? Would that be 1 to the power of 6, 10 to the power of 7, 100 to the power of 4? Well, let's check it out. 1,000 is 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. So it's actually 1 to the power of 6, which is this first number. That's our first answer. Or we could actually say, could we say it's 100 to the power of 4? 100 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually the same thing. It's the same exact thing. I think, let me just check it. 3, 6 zeros. It's the same thing. So you could say it's either one of those. Any one of those 2 answers is actually correct. Okay? So we continue to do more and more problems in Kahoot. I think we did up to number 6. We also played this problem, this game. Okay, if you want to play it, it's on Google Classroom. It's called enrich.maths. You can move problems over to find multiples and factors. We played that. You can click on that in Google Classroom. And then this problem was pretty popular last time. We played the Ninja game, okay? You can find factors to practice factors and multiples. It's abcya.com, which again is on Google Classroom. So thanks for being attentive today, and hopefully we learned a little bit more about factoring. We learned a little bit more about multiples and multiplying factors of 10. Okay, so we'll see you later.